I knew that our bishop for the Pentecostal Church of God was going to be on TBN this week. And, you know, because I'd heard it announced here, and so I kind of had it in the back of my mind, and I thought, I'd like to see that. But through the week, I'd kind of forgotten about it a little bit. Well, I was on Facebook the other night, and I belong to the Pentecostal Church of God's Facebook page. And so as I'm scrolling through, you know, look and see what my friends have posted, I saw the announcement again. And so I clicked on the link, and I went to the Pentecostal Church of God website, and it was like 1 minute and 30-some seconds left before the show started. Oh, well, so I went and I turned it on on the computer, and I watched it for a little bit, and they were talking about this and that, and it was good. It was good. But I thought, well, when are they going to get to the bishop? So I turned my TV on, the DVR, and I thought, well, I'll record it, and I'll come back and look at it later, because I had some other things I wanted to do. Well, then later, when I turned it on, just as I turned it on, he was coming on. So I felt like this is something that God really wanted me to see, because it just kept happening, just at the right moment. So he was talking about, I don't know how many of you saw it or not. Let me go back a little bit. The Lord gave me a dream. Some of you may not know, my husband left us 17.5 years ago. And the Lord woke me up. No, let me back up. 3 months after he left, the Lord gave me a dream. And in the dream, we were having a revival meeting. And the revival tent was set up next to a house. And in the meeting, we were like in a break or something between preachers. So we were all kind of milling around, talking to each other, fellowship. And I knew that it was Christians, not just of our church, but like of the city or the area, because there were different denominations of people there. So it represented believers. And I knew that in the house that children were being taught. Okay? So just as we're fellowshipping, this is my dream now, the skies got black, and we saw a funnel cloud form and touch down on the earth, and it headed towards where we were. So we all filed into the house, and we sat down on the floor. I don't know why we didn't go in the basement, but we sat down on the floor, and from my vantage point in the dream, I could see out the corner window the funnel cloud come up to the house. It didn't touch the house, but it was right next to the house. It went completely around the house, didn't touch it, and then it was gone. And the Lord spoke to me. He woke me up. It wasn't still in the dream. He woke me up. And he spoke to me, and he said, just as you have seen sudden destruction come against my people, and I saved them from it, so shall you see sudden destruction come against your husband. And I will save him from it. And he will know that it is by my hand that he is saved. And he will once again call me Lord. Okay? This was exciting. This is exciting still. And for 17.5 years, I have kept that promise. I've held on to it, is what I mean to say. And then when the bishop spoke the other night, of course you all know that they had that horrible tornado that went through Joplin, Missouri. And that's where our headquarters are. And so he talked about storms and what God does, what he's doing in the middle of storms. And he talked about how God's bringing a new thing. He's bringing great change to a situation when storms come. And I've studied through the years about tornadoes and whirlwinds, and God's in that storm. He's bringing the change. And so I praise God for that, because I got really excited while I was hearing him talk. It was like he renewed this vision in me. I wasn't feeling faint about it, but still God came in and he encouraged me. And I remembered several other things that he had promised me through the years. And the reason for that is because Zach and Ashley came home at that moment, and they sat down, and I began to tell them and remind Zachary all the things that God's promised me about Dad. And so I just want to give God the praise and glory that he keeps renewing that in me. And it's not about me, it's about Mark. And you don't give up on your loved ones. When you say you love somebody, you stand. You stand. You don't give up on them. You don't leave them. You don't forsake them. God doesn't leave us or forsake us. Oh God, I could preach. You've got to stand for people. If you love them, you've got to stand and believe God for them. And that was God's message to me. He's, don't leave my son in this predicament, in my attitudes, because you can crush people when you do things like that. And they think they have no hope. But because and it's not to increase me, but I just know what the obedience of God does. It causes hope to spring up, even in the person that's gone astray. And I just praise God for it.